there.
Brain Candy Podcast, episode 584. I'm Susan.
I'm Sarah.
How-
Sarah Whitney Rice.
How
Oh my God,
are
that
you?
sounds like
Are you
I'm in
okay
trouble.
over there? I think
Definitely ready to get out of here and go. I think I might be the only person who's like, I can't wait to leave this beautiful tropical paradise for the snow.
Yeah,
It's
is it
usually
just the
the opposite.
cockroaches or what?
No, it's now, well, here it is. My mom's good.
Right.
She's able to move. She's able to walk around. She's able to take care of herself. So now I'm like, okay, lady. Are you just enjoying me making you smoothies every morning or what's happening here? No, I'm just kidding. So the doctor gave her a clean bill of health. They pulled out, oh my God, I could not watch because
The foot thing?
it might be, he pulled out a 6-inch metal. Oh, I'm going to take pictures of the x-rays and put them up. Where should I put them? On our Instagram stories?
Should I put them?
Yes, they're so cool. The x-rays of her feet and like all the metal parts in her elbow and everything that they got put back together with all these pieces. But he pulled out this metal rod that was no joke, like 6 inches long. I don't know. Okay, can somebody explain to me how you can pull something like that out of the human body? And my mom said she didn't feel it except for right on the surface of the skin. He didn't numb
Really?
her or anything.
Well, how's
he
that
just
possible?
did it. And then I was like, I can't look. There's going to be blood. And then he said, there's no blood. And then I looked, blood.
Oh.
So, liar. It was
What
like 2 drops.
happened?
But in my mind, when I
Oh.
looked at it, it was like basically the Red Wedding from like Game of Thrones.
Was this in her foot?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, do I have? Oh, I have him here. Oh my God.
What do you
I have
have?
him right. The X-rays.
Oh.
I have him right next to me. Wow.
Oh, okay, well, if you're
Yeah.
watching this on Patreon,
So if you're watching
going to get a
Patreon-
real bonus here. Bonus
Yes.
content.
Oh my God. If you're not, you can just hear it.
Oh, my
That's her X-ray.
gosh.
Look
Okay.
at that piece of metal.
Whoa.
That
whoa,
going
whoa.
right there.
What was
Brr,
it
brr,
doing
brr.
in there?
Holding everything fucking together. Look at that.
And that's the thing that was sticking out.
That is the thing that was sticking out. And then one time when I was wheeling her around, too, because our technique was put her on the office chair with wheels because the wheelchair didn't fit into the bathroom. So I put her on the office chair with wheels, wheel her around. And but P.S., great ab workout.
Yeah.
Really good. Because you got to like stabilize the core as you're like trying to move those 5
Right.
wheels to get them to change direction.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Right.
My mom was like, I think there's something wrong with the chair. I'm like, I think it wasn't designed for this.
Right.
So as we were maneuvering it, her feet were in front of me, and I took a step, and like I accidentally kicked the metal rod. She was like, it was nothing. I fell on the floor like
Right,
I
yeah.
had just had a metal rod inserted into my foot.
How could it be possible that she didn't feel pain when they pulled it out?
Susie, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't understand what, because I was like, what do you think it was in? And she's like, my bone. I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Because it wouldn't be like a hollow tooth. It's not, no. So,
Right.
And then then this is the best part. I thought I was quite the comedian in there. The best part is he goes, then he just takes out, I'm not kidding, he pulls out a 6-inch metal rod from her foot.
Yeah.
And then takes out a Band-Aid. And is like, bing. And I'm like, oh, wait a sec. You just pull out a
Problem
6-inch
solved.
rod and then you're like, oh, here's a Band-Aid?
That's all she needed.
He was super
though?
hot and he laughed. So I was like, I'm in. No.
Well, because doesn't it leave quite a large gaping wound?
You would think.
I would
I
think.
don't know. I can't look. Maybe I'll look for science.
For science.
For research.
Yeah. Yeah, because I really would love to know. It's very mysterious to me.
Yeah. So that's the update. What a roller coaster.
You know, I kind of, you know how we're like, wow, how do they do that? That's so mysterious. I feel like doctors feel that way too. Because have you ever asked them for information? They don't know anything.
Or then that whole thing that, I don't know if this is a real thing, but that saying, watch one, do one, teach one. Took me more than 3 tries to learn how to tie my shoes. And that's like loop, swoop, and pull.
Right,
Not
well,
spinal surgery.
Because Dr. Death has you all scared now, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
God. I think it maybe has my mom scared, too, because she does have to go back in for plastic surgery on her eye because this one they didn't know until it kind of healed. And this is kind of creepy. When she sleeps, her eye doesn't close all the way because they had to sew it.
Oh.
Because she cut her eyelid open in her fall. She's so lucky she didn't lose her eye. They had to stitch her eyelid shut. And when in stitching it back together, she needs some like extra skin there.
Wait, is it still sewn shut?
No. It's not sewn shut. They had to sew it. It's split down like on like vertically.
Wow.
Yeah, so they had to sew that back together, and it kind of lifted it a little. And so I was watching her when she was sleeping, and I'm like, oh, one of her eyes is open. So I was telling the dog, I'm like, I think we need to go in there and fix that because, A, it looks creepy, and B, dry eye.
Well, I can't wait till you're stateside. It will just make me feel better.
Oh, gosh. Me too. I can't wait. And then I'm going to, like, start dating. It'll be awesome.
I wanted to ask you, remember how a few episodes ago you told me to watch an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes.
Okay.
About middling.
Yes. Okay. So I watched the one, or I was watching the one that you told me to watch, or that I thought you told me to watch. And, like, everything that they talk about on Curb Your Enthusiasm, like, could apply. Like, because I couldn't remember the context or why you wanted me to watch. And I thought, I don't even know if I'm watching the right one because everything that annoys Larry David annoys me also.
Correct.
And I'm like, this is hilarious, and I'm so glad I watched it, but I don't even know if this is the right one. Why did you want me to watch that one?
Okay, it's because we were talking about, like, because you and I were talking about how we thought, what happens if neither of us are at a party?
Yes.
If we're not there, does anybody say anything? And I said, well, there was a whole episode about how the people that they have at the middle of the table are super crucial and important to the party. And you have to invite a good middler. And you and I are good middlers.
We're really good middlers.
And you and me across from each other, even at like a slight diagonal. Oh, you got yourself a party. People.
Is true.
We get that. We play off each other. I mean, come on.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
584 hours of plus to prove it.
Because then there was also a moment in the episode where they invited Larry to go on a walk for just the sake of a walk. And he was like, I don't like purposeless walks. And I thought maybe that's why. Because I was like, yeah, me neither. It can be secondary only. The walk is only secondary to whatever the primary goal is.
Get the mailbox? You got the mail out of the mailbox?
Right.
Fine. Go in the walk to the mailbox for no mail? Not okay.
Right. And like he said, when you're golfing, you golf and you walk, but the walking is secondary. No purposeless walking.
I think, have you ever considered golf as a hobby?
Should I?
I think you would be. I think that you could be a golfer.
Why?
I don't know. You have the patience, the focus, and I've seen you goofy golf. I've seen some holes in one.
Yeah, I have golf potential.
So I think
right.
that, and it's walking with a purpose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be out in the grass, but it would be my second favorite grass, which my first is, of course, dad grass.
Yes. Hell yeah. Oh.
Man, that sweet, sweet mellow high.
You know what? I am going to order some for myself and send it to the house that I'm staying in.
Yeah.
For my little Aspen trip, little vacay.
Yes.
And I'm going to smoke that shit on the lift.
Oh my gosh, you will be so excited. It is going to be
That is so cool.
So peaceful and just like chilled out. Because that's what dad grass is all about, people. They don't want you to get too freaking high. They want you to be mellow, baby.
And you do not want to be doing recreational sports super high. So,
no.
like
safety first.
Yeah, safety first.
Chillin' second. And Dadgrass is great because it's super high in CBD, but it's low in THC. It's legal in all 50 states. You can get it shipped right to you. Even if you think you're in a state that doesn't allow it, it does. And it's just legal, organic, smokable hemp. What more could you ask for?
Right.
Right now,
just a smooth, mellow high.
Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/braincandy. Go to dadgrass.com/braincandy for 20% off your first order. That's dadgrass.com/braincandy.
Now I'm jonesing for a joint, man.
Well, and now I think they have tinctures, which I guess, are those like
cool.
little droppies?
Yeah, and you can like put some in your tea. You can like...
I never thought of that.
Susie's eyeballs just got so big.
That sounds great.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting
Tinctures.
that. Okay, that's happening.
Yes.
All right, so I watched your Curb Your Enthusiasm. Highly recommend.
Yes.
Then I also watched The Eyes of Tammy
Have you
Faye.
never seen that before?
Yes.
Curb Your Enthusiasm?
But the episode was so good, and then the next one was so good that now I'm like, I got to watch every episode that was ever made.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yes. Guys.
Yeah.
Next step, Interstellar.
Right.
Oh man, that actually I just felt a release of either serotonin or dopamine or oxytocin, whatever that is. It's probably oxytocin, I think. That you know, like you get like the tinglies where like somebody like enjoys a gift you got them.
Yeah.
I just got that. Oh, it's like so nice. I'm like, yes, give me those good drugs.
The one that really got to me was the next one. Did you watch it where he spilled coffee on that guy's Klansman robe?
Yes.
And then, so Larry David, a very Jewy Jew, accidentally spilled coffee on a Klansman's robe, and he needed it for a hate rally the next day. And so Larry had to get it dry cleaned. But to me, the best part was when he was telling his friend who he needed to embroider a new one. And she was like, who's this for, a man, a woman? And he's like, a man. And she's like, what kind of man? And he was like, a Klansman. Okay, it's devolved here.
I don't know what I like better, the actual episode or Susie retells Larry David joke. That's the best. I love this.
Klansman
more drugs
in my head like 100 times since then because it was perfect.
Klansman. Oh, that reminds me of our Walkman Discman.
Right. Walkman. All right, people.
Oh gosh, that tickles me.
I also watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which that movie was great, and we had Jay Baker on, Tammy Faye's son, and the movie was really good. So if you're thinking about watching it, it's on HBO now. You can watch it. It's so good. Because what I was thinking is, if you were younger and weren't really aware of the scandal or the people in it,
this would be me.
Yes,
because all I know about is a lot of mascara.
Right. There was a lot of that too. That's accurate. But if I felt like when I watched the movie, this is a nail on the head. They got it right. But if you're watching it without knowing the context, you might think their acting was like over the top or ridiculous.
Oh, right.
But they really were like that. So I wanted people to know, like, that's an accurate retelling as far as
kind of like what is our favorite movie? The family that. The documentary about We Love Them with the ones with the cuckoo crazy mom and her boyfriend, and we had the son on.
Oh yeah, what the hell is that called? Why have I forgotten this? Their names. They're two people's names.
Cindy
and Frank. Frank and Cindy.
Frank and Cindy. Woo!
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like Frank and Cindy, where you think they can't really be like that,
and they are.
They are. Yeah. So anyway, you should watch that.
Yeah, man, life is fucking crazy, man.
Okay, let's talk about. There was this guy that was featured in the New York Times who created basically, and they would call it an olfactometer, olfactometer.
Okay, a smell-o-vision.
Yes. Smell-o-vision. And kind of like, they look like gigantic binoculars that go on your nostrils, though. Sarah, I'm dead serious. Like big, long binoculars, but just right here.
So, like anteater style, like
Yeah, man.
Oh, gosh, but two.
Well, yes. Yeah, one for each nostril.
I'm gonna ask a silly question.
What?
Why do we have two nostrils?
Why do we have two of them?
Yeah,
That's a good question. That's not a dumb question. Because part of what I learned when I read this article was that when you breathe in, the air really only goes in one nostril or the other. It doesn't go into both.
What?
Yeah. So what are they doing? Take it turns?
I feel like it's more this guy.
you're
Maybe that's the
right
nose ring.
dominant.
That's the nose ring.
I'm
right dominant. Left-handed, right nostril breather.
She's right nostril.
What if I put that in my Bumble profile? How many days do you think I won't get?
She's right nostriled. Wonder what
Left-handed, right nostril.
It's like when you're right-brained.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe that's why.
My gosh.
Who knows?
Are we onto something?
It was just really good because I had also just read an article about this guy that develops perfumes and he wants people to start like really paying attention to their smells. And I just thought it was good advice because you know how people think of sight and sound, hearing and seeing as the dominant senses? But I
did until I lost mine with COVID for a frickin' month.
Right.
And now, every now and then, I do test smells.
Okay.
Where I just am like,
With
can I
coffee or
smell this?
something.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Anything. Because it's weird when it goes away.
I kind of feel like it's because it's so important to us that we don't even, it's almost just like it's so important we don't even notice it.
Yes,
if that
correct.
makes sense.
Yeah, yes, correct.
And so I was intrigued by these two people that were totally separate, but were both saying like, hey, basically stop and smell the roses, literally. And
I love that.
olfactometer guy, he called his nostril binoculars the nasal ranger device, which I would like to salute him for that. Number one.
Nasal Ranger.
And okay, so the point
he could have gone Rhino Ranger for the alliteration, and we would have gotten that. And I'm just saying, and it could appeal to
you're right, like rhinoplasty,
tough guy audience. Yeah.
Tough guy audience.
I don't know. I feel like the Rhino Ranger, like Joe Rogan listener crossovers.
I hear what you're saying.
You do, yeah.
Well, in the context of the article, they were saying how smell pollution, for lack of a better word, is not regulated at all. You know how we regulate emissions from cars because they're in the air and they can cause health problems? And they were arguing that bad smells can also be really harmful, maybe not in like a heart attack or something, but in like mental health. And it made me think about how that's another way that we diminish the importance of mental health. That when something only affects us mentally, we're sort of like, well, you can handle it. Like, because what if you had to smell BM all day, every day or something?
It would. I remember the worst flight I ever took in my entire life was when I was in the very last row and the toilet broke. And I was right next to the toilets, and I was the worst flight of my whole life. So I could barely handle 6 hours of being that next to that. Imagine.
Let me ask you this about that experience.
And the seat was broken. I couldn't not broken. You know how the very last seat you can't recline, which just feels like a slap in the face. So
yeah, right. That's so true.
If you don't offer those at a discount,
well,
fuck off, airline.
Whenever that happened and the toilet broke, did it break like mid-flight?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think there was someone that had an issue? And then,
I wasn't going to go in there and check. Maybe somebody who is usually carrying around a poo knife forgot it at home or something.
Oh, my God. And then
couldn't get the poo knife past TSA.
We should make a TSA-friendly one. It's more like a letter
Man, you're going to need to check that.
Right. Oh, God.
Oh, goodness.
So, was it overflowing?
I couldn't tell you. All I know is that it was working, and then it started to smell, and then it was not working, and they said the stewardess was like, no going in there.
Oh. So, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody had an issue.
What could go wrong on an airplane? That's a fair question. Because they've got that suction thing down. You don't think that the clogging is not an issue.
Right. Well, maybe.
I bet it was a mess in the room.
Okay.
Susie, you would ask follow-up questions about this. I was like, we're just going to hold it the rest of the trip. On that same flight, my TV set was broken. And
no, man.
the only show that I'm not kidding. I did write them, like, I was like, listen, one of these things is fine, but the trio, and they gave me miles, I don't know, like 500 miles or something.
500?
1,000, I don't know, whatever it was. I'm sure it was, whatever it was, I was like, thanks. It was good. It was worth the letter. But the TV was stuck to my 600-pound life. And as an empathic person, that is like heavy, pun not intended, for me to watch all for 6 hours.
Yeah, I would turn that off.
Like, you couldn't turn it off. I'm not kidding.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding. It was stuck, and they reset it like 3 times. That's
awful.
Yep. I remember thinking that this could be a contender for that Ellen's vacation show. But then I was like, you're being dramatic, Sarah. It's just one flight. And so,
right.
But, yeah.
Well,
story of my life.
That sounds terrible. What is far less terrible, though, is something I'm really excited about because I've been wanting to work with Everlywell for ages, and now you'll get to do something similar. I got to choose to do a food sensitivity test.
Oh, I really want to do this. I want that one.
I am so excited.
I think there's things I'm allergic to that I don't even know about.
Exactly.
For sure.
That's
like, I knew somebody who was like, didn't know they were allergic to soy or almond, something like that. And they were like having that instead of milk, thinking they were doing the right thing. No. Oh, I'm so excited.
I know. Me too. I want to know what food sensitivities I have. But basically, Everlywell is an at-home lab test system where you can send stuff off and then they send you the results and you can find out, if you have a food sensitivity. They have a metabolism test, and I was tempted by that, but then I was like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, you're good. I really, yours is good.
Yeah, like I feel like everything's regulated there.
Yes.
And so I didn't feel like I needed that one. But I probably will still do it because it's just fun. And you can do a sleep and stress one. They have a thyroid one. I just think it's so empowering because you
don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. Maybe,
comfort of your own home. This is so easy.
You have an egg sensitivity. Maybe you have an almond sensitivity. Wouldn't you like to know that?
I would like to know.
Yes.
I know I'm sensitive to something, and I don't want to do that whole eliminate something from my diet, guess and check game till. And
that's what I should tell my sister because she had to do that one time and then it took forever. And then you introduced foods like one at a time.
Forget
this is so much easier.
Nope.
And so they ship the test to you. You take it, you send it back, you get your results. It's so great. And I will tell you, once I get my results, I'll tell you what I learned. For listeners of the show, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/braincandy. That's everlywell.com/braincandy for 20% off your at-home lab test, everlywell.com/braincandy. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. I'm sorry about your flight.
Look, so silly.
But yeah, so they were saying,
we were talking about the smell.
Like if there's a sulfur smell coming from a factory down the road, if it's only just a smell, then there might not be much to be done about it legally. But you can have all these symptoms, even if it's like headache, burning eyes, stuff like that. And so it was trying to say like, smell is important. It can tell you like if there's a danger, what food to eat, what not. I mean, we need to pay more attention to it.
Super important. And didn't we talk a long time ago about a woman who called the police or tried to do something about her neighbors for barbecuing, and she was vegan?
Yes.
So maybe we're kind of coming around.
Yeah.
And are more on team that lady.
Well, yeah, because like it is an infestation of my airspace.
And I'll tell you, when I feel that way about cigarette smoke. And when I was pregnant for like 2.5 seconds, I cried when my then husband made bacon because it smelled so bad to me.
What did it smell like?
Meat altogether smelled like rotting flesh.
Corpse, yeah.
Like I was like, I think I was puking so much, and I was like, don't you even care? Who makes bacon and thinks like somebody's gonna hate this? Nobody.
Yeah, that was the first ever in history.
Okay.
So anyway, maybe Delia will put those in the newsletter. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, you should check it out because it does.
What do you think is your least favorite smell?
That is a good question.
And then your most favorite.
You know what? Fish is not one of my favorites.
You do have the no salmon rule.
That's right.
You're not allowed to cook salmon inside at Susie's house. Only outside on the grill.
Right.
And even then, I don't know.
Yes,
no
because
salmon rules.
It's when you cook fish in your house, I hope you like smelling it forever. Because it's
going to be there for a week.
Yeah, more than. It is so crazy to me how it's... Well, that was one of the things they said, how like the sulfuric smell, like rotten eggs, you smell it even if it's just 1 part per billion. And they were saying that like if you went across country, that would only represent like 2 inches of that map. That's how small of an amount that is. Right?
Wow!
And so... certain smells are more intense.
Susie, this is the info I was looking for. Right. This is crazy.
You know, and so I feel like fish is one of them. What's your least favorite smell?
Why are smells sticky?
Yeah.
Like, why do they stick to things?
I think
why
they
do
get
certain
in the
smells
molecules.
stick to things? Okay.
This is one of those things
and
that Summer Renee would have gotten mad about. Because she said we always are like, I think this or I think that. And then we act like it's fact. I'm not. I'm just guessing.
I'm glad it's you finally doing a little bit of that. So let Susie do some guessing for once. Maybe it's because I'm asking questions. Like, hey, Susie, what do you think? What?
Yeah, what's your least favorite smell, Sarah? And also, why do you think some smells are sticky? You tell me that.
Least favorite smell. I know. My least favorite smell is the smell of one of those shaker bottles if you've had a protein shake and then you forgot to take it out of your car.
What's it smell like in there?
Protein, like whey protein, is essentially like animal protein, which is meat. It smells like rotting meat.
Yeah.
And I have said adios to many a shaker bottle because I'm like, no, I will gladly pay for a new one that I know that is wasteful. Yes, you're right.
But it was contaminated. What could you do?
But
you had no choice.
And I don't think it was safe at that point for anybody to drink out of that. So that would be the worst.
That's a good one.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you think it is that makes one smell more potent or sticky than another?
Oh.
What is up with that?
Weird, because like I didn't really so much mind the smell of that durian fruit that everybody hated.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think it smelled like or taste that crazy either.
Maybe because we were in the open air.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Thailand.
Susie and I had to eat on our final challenge in Thailand, where we first met. We had to eat this fruit that is so stinky.
Yeah.
It is illegal to have it in enclosed
it's
rooms. Like you can't bring it into a hotel, you can't bring it into airport, and they have big old signs everywhere with the fruit with the X through it.
It's so
Don't
offensive.
Bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the heck? And then they're like, we better feed it to the challengers.
They're
gonna love it.
My main gripe about that part of the final was they put the durian there, but they didn't say what it was. There were no signs that said, here's what you're eating. And inside durian is a pit kind of like an avocado.
Right, that you are not supposed to eat.
Yeah, and I ate it because I thought I had to.
You ate it?
Yeah, and believe me, it hurts coming out.
Susie, I'm sorry. Ow.
How did you know not to eat it?
You guys must have done that did I eat it? No.
I mean, you would know because it was like hard, like wood.
I swallowed everything whole.
Oh, God.
Because I got no time. I did. I'd swallow those, and then I remember because then I started to get sick, and so I made myself puke, and I puked them all up whole.
Did a big brown ball come up?
Well, I don't remember. A bug came up.
Oh my
the chili
God.
came up.
That's got to be worse.
Yeah, thank God, because that would have sucked to come out the other end. All you guys the next day, I am so sorry.
Yeah, man. Whew. I was like...
I evacuated the building before those guys
I didn't find out what it was that I had eaten until afterwards, like when we were back at the hotel. And I was like, what was that anyway? And they're like, hello.
Gosh. Man.
Anywho, moving on.
Yes.
Hey, this is just a random trivia thing that I found that I'm like freaked out about. Do you know the film I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
My God, I tried to get a boy to make out with me in that movie. Didn't work.
Wow.
Yeah, like go to the scary movie.
Can't believe he wasn't turned on by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That film's
Brandon,
really...
if you're there, if you're listening.
Your loss.
Your loss.
How did you try, and then how do you know he wasn't into it?
Basically, like, sat next to him and then didn't get a...
That was all you did?
Hand. And then, like, a lot of, like, screams, like, ah! And then, like...
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like
right.
that. Yeah, but he made me a mixtape once for my birthday, so, he basically
well that ends well.
loved me.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you.
So basically,
I'll tell you what I'm in love with: Beta brand yoga dress pants.
I love these, and I am so glad that you turned me on to these guys, because if you're going to work from home, be comfy.
Be comfy. Well, and that's the thing is, like, now a lot of people...
Actually, if you're going to work anywhere, be comfy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people got a little too comfy over the last couple years. And now
I'm never wearing heels again, so, yeah.
Sarah's one of these people.
Yes.
And so people have to go back to work, and now they're, like, spoiled and feeling like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. And so Beta brand is a problem solver because you look stylish and elegant, yet also comfortable.
Yes.
It's some sort of miracle these people have done.
Yes. Oh, gosh. So comfy. And jean material look.
Yeah, they have all different styles, and we've been wearing these guys for ages, but I'm just feeling like a lot of people will benefit now that they want both. You want to be comfortable, but you want to look chic and professional. You can feel polished. And a lot of people that do that thing where, let's say you do work from home and you only wear like a cute top and then you have like jammies.
This is what I'm saying.
Don't do that.
That's why I had to change.
Yes.
Because you can't do that. Mm-mm. It'll mess with your self-esteem
mojo.
After a while.
For real.
For real.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was better at my job, and I showed up in a more confident, professional way. They say you got to dress for the job you want, and I do not want the job of sleeping for the rest of my life.
Right. And like Sarah said, now they have pockets, first of all. So that's great. They're machine washable. And like Sarah said, they have yoga denim. So
yes.
comfy.
Oh, yoga denim.
Right now, get 30% off your Beta brand order when you go to betabrand.com/braincandy. That's BETA brand.com/braincandy for 30% off your order for a limited time. Make sure to use our special URL because it supports our show. I love when you guys do that. Find out why women are buying 5 different pairs of these pants. Go to betabrand.com/braincandy for 30% off.
These are the buy one and then, because I'm like the person who, when I find the one that's comfy, I want them in like 5 different colors.
That's my signature move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where do you think I learned it?
Right. Right. I highly recommend it. If you find something you like, just get all of them.
Yes. Get all of them.
Somebody, a brainiac, I can't remember her name now, she sent me the link to the story about that lawsuit recently with that kid that was on the cover of the Nirvana album when he was a baby. Did you see that?
No, but oh my gosh.
You know the cover, of course.
Yeah, I totally do. The baby who's swimming after a dollar in a pool, and he's naked.
Yes, and the kid that's on there, he's sort of he like resurfaces every few years to like commemorate
I never
album.
thought to look that like, oh, I wonder where that baby is.
Yeah, the baby is still alive and would
not a baby anymore.
Not a baby, would resurface every few years to maybe do an appearance or something related to the album commemoration. But then now, I don't know how old he is exactly, but whatever, 20s or something. He sued saying like it was sexual abuse or exploitation of him, right?
No.
Okay. That lawsuit was thrown out. I think it was thrown out on a technicality, though, so maybe it'll come back. But, like, what do you think about this?
No.
Tell me why.
Come on. Because...
There's nothing sexual about it.
There's absolutely nothing. And I think it's... What I really don't like is the sexualization of children. Like, to say, like, oh, she needs to... Like, a little girl does not need to wear a bathing suit top. Like...
Right. I agree.
Come on.
Yeah.
And they don't in any other country. And as soon as you say, oh, you need to cover up, you're starting to sexualize the child. And I'm like, no, they don't. I don't even think I need to wear a bathing suit top, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Because, come on. And so I just think that is silly. And
here's, though, what I found intriguing. I agree with you, by the way. And especially because he is consistently...
You can't show up for appearances and do all that and then be like, oh, also, I mean...
Yeah, so that's the thing.
This is so different than... I'm always on the side of the victim, but I do not think that this is...
What it made me feel like, though, and tell me if I am just projecting or if you think I'm onto something. It felt kind of like maybe related to how... we have felt about doing the challenge where like it's a disappointment in the end and you didn't get what you think you should have. And so
that's fair.
That's the only way he could think of to sort of be recouped. I don't know.
That's fair.
'Cause I talk about it a lot on our 15 Minutes of Blame where I get bitter and resentful about having done a show that made other people rich, but mined my resources.
Oh, for sure.
For content.
Yeah.
So maybe that's sort of where he's coming from.
And if that's where a lot of his identity lies, then continuing that in whatever way, I think, or holding on to that, and even if it's now, like in a different, like,
yeah,
like
embracing it didn't
yes.
get him what he wanted, so now he's going to reject it and see if that gets him the
because that got him that identity somehow rewarded him in that way, where he felt connected or felt important or felt like a part of something, which he was.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess.
But I think I would be interested to see. I think what can happen is there's this dangerous time period where if people get, I don't know, like praise, notoriety, whatever it is, more like they get rewarded or like their bad behavior or whatever normally would. It's like a time where you should be self-correcting with I don't know, your social interactions. It's like that young college age.
Yeah.
Where usually we realize, oh my gosh, there are so many other people who are so different and I'm really like one of so many, and like, yes, I'm an individual, but there are a lot of individuals, and so, I'm no more important than any other individual. And if instead during that time we get told, oh, guess what, you are a super important individual, then I think that can be a tough thing to overcome later.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we also talk about in 15 Minutes of Blame, that a lot of people that go on the challenge in real world are at that age when their behavior normally would have social consequences if they are inappropriate or out of line or something or obnoxious. But instead, we participated in something that reinforces those behaviors. And then you get your wires crossed and you start thinking the way to be successful or cool or interesting is doing all this shit that's not cool or interesting.
Yes. Yep. Or the way to be successful and cool and interesting was how I was immortalized or how I was put on this album cover back then. Who am I if I'm not this kid on the album cover? And that is it. I think that if he, like, I would bet that he doesn't have another, like, passion or isn't, like, pursuing a master's degree in something. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't see him, like...
He doesn't have a full life outside of this. Is that what you think? Okay.
Yeah. That would be my guess. That this is the thing that defines him, or he's chosen to be defined by this thing, I think is the better way to put that.
Well, counterpoint, maybe too because of when it happened, that period of time, like right before the internet. And then, so there was like a quietness. And then as social media and stuff and the content farms were developed, then it was constantly brought up and constantly like, where are they now type of thing.
Yeah.
And so maybe he thought, well, this is all I am. I'm reduced to this like one image. That would suck. He only got $200 for it, I think. Yeah, like I would be mad about that.
Speaking of which, I just saw on that Diet Prada account, there is what's the name of the brand? There's a jewelry brand, a French jewelry brand that is in big trouble, as they should be, because they used indigenous women to pose as models for their jewelry ad. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And paid them $15.
Yeah. Can you believe?
I was disgusted by that story.
Right.
Just so gross.
Because because you can do something doesn't mean...
That's what my mom said.
Yeah. That's true.
That's what my mom said, exactly.
She's right.
She is right.
She's a wise sage, that's Sally.
She is. Yeah. She's not climbing balconies.
Oh, man. Okay. I just wanted to teach you how to tickle a rat. There was a real article in the New York Times about rat
first you got to catch them.
Right.
Step one.
Apparently, rat tickling has become very important. You have to get certified in it because there is a right and wrong way to tickle a rat.
Why are we tickling? For science?
For science. Yes. They were... Okay, so in Australia... So
you need to make rats happy, basically, and there's a right and wrong way to do it? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. And that, if you have rats in your lab, that if you have scheduled tickle times, then then they aren't as fearful of humans and they don't mind being handled. And it's
you need to have
more humane experience.
This is like when I have my cuddle time with Bo.
It is.
Yeah. And we do big stretch.
Do you? Does he do it whenever you...
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Bo is a girl.
Bo is a she. Yeah. But everybody makes that mistake.
Okay.
She doesn't mind.
I'll teach you how.
Her pronouns are she, he.
Let me see. Okay, first step. Touch the back of the rat's neck with a quick, light movement. Avoid the tail and the haunches, as these areas are where aggression from other rats is directed. Step one.
Haunches are like...
I guess sides, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Your handles.
Yeah, flip that baby
haunches.
right over. Gently restrain the rat around its front legs and lift it while rotating your wrist to flip the rat onto its back. This movement is the most difficult part of rat tickling, but the most beneficial.
Got it. Got to get him over onto his tummy.
It closely mimics what happens when rats wrestle.
Same could be said for tickling Sarah.
These steps apply for Sarah tickling and rats.
Yes.
And then
one swift move.
You got to pin the rat. Tickle the rat between its front legs and on its chest while applying a firm, constant pressure to keep the rat on its back. And the best
So
part
far, I
is,
see nothing that I would not enjoy.
the rats come back for more. Like when you release them, they come back because they love it so much.
Oh, they love it when you do it right.
Isn't that best?
Okay, you flip them on their back, and then where's their secret spot?
Tickle the rat between its front legs and on its chest while applying a firm, constant pressure to keep the rat on its back.
Oh, okay, they like a little chest tickle.
Yeah,
Between
but
oh.
the best part of the article was said, it's a mistake to assume that all rats are into tickling.
I mean,
They're just like people.
We would never want to assume.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, we can't, treat them all with a wide brush. They're so individual.
Some of them. What if there are some who like their feet tickled, and we're just ignoring those guys?
Do you think they do? Do you think that
No.
some of them have like different tickle zones, like people?
Probably. Like my dog. Like dogs.
Where do you tickle Bo?
Bo has a spot right underneath, right above her hind leg, like
How do you know it
on her
tickles?
side, because her leg goes
Oh, and that's what that
like
means?
a million miles an hour. Oh, I think so.
Okay.
I think what? Actually, I have no clue. What the heck does that mean?
Summer Renee.
I've always thought that that's just what they like because she definitely likes. It almost looks like she can't control herself. Like
Okay, so
like,
but it's not
and
the
her
same.
leg
It's just
just
a
goes a
reflex.
million miles an hour. But sometimes she doesn't. She like hits me with her leg. I'm like, don't hit me. It's not. It is a reflex. It feels like a reflex. Maybe it's a reflex. What does that mean, people?
Yeah,
but so is laughing. Laughing is a reflex when I get tickled, right?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
laughing a reflex?
That is a really good point. Because when I think reflex, I think of the knee hit. The
Right.
doctors
It's like
do.
an automatic. It's going to work.
Yes. So it's different.
Is it though? Because I can make the knee thing not work if I think about it. I can
Really?
make laughing not. If I think about it, yeah.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to put that on my
Yeah,
close
you can.
friends.
You
This
just
is-
kind of hold it.
This is the content people want. I'm putting that on my close friends. If you want to be one of our close friends on Instagram, just sign up on our Patreon. I think it's the, what's the name of that level? Well, I forget.
Social something.
Let's get social.
Social
yeah.
club?
Let's get social.
Let's get social.
Because, I'm constantly thinking, what else can I show them? I just
show all the weird stuff.
I want to meet their needs. Anyway, okay, I'll test the reflex thing with the knee and if I can control it.
I got almost kicked out of the doctor's office the first time they did that to me when I got my physical for water polo when I was a freshman in high school. I remember I had never had anybody do that to me that I had ever remembered. I had no idea that was what happened. And when they did it, my knee went so far. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. They're like, "You're going to need to calm down, miss." Or we're
Really?
I was like,
Calm
I
down?
can't. Yeah, I was laughing so hard. They were like, "We got to finish this," and I couldn't. I'm like, "I'm sorry." That is just I didn't know that the human body did that. It tickled my funny bone as he hit whatever other bone that was.
Fuck, that's so weird.
It is weird. Any hoodles?
Do you want to hear about the history of the chocolate chip cookie? Or a time capsule under a Robert E. Lee statue?
I would like the cookie, please.
Okay, great. The history of the chocolate chip cookie. The chocolate chip cookie was invented by... the recipe was invented by Ruth Wakefield. She ran a diner called the Toll House Diner.
Oh my gosh! Toll House cookies!
Mm-hmm. They
Who
are the
knew?
orig because
I didn't know those were the original
cookies.
Hey, you heard it here, folks. If you wanted to know where the original chocolate chips, or what the original chocolate chip cookies were.
Yeah. She was just trying to come up with recipes for her diner. There's all this weird mythology, though. So some people thought that the way she invented it was that there was a bowl and she was making cookies called ice cream cookies, because I guess they used to serve a cookie with ice cream, which should still
seems
just
makes good sense. Yeah.
And she was making those, and there was a bowl of chocolate chips up above, and that the mixing was so intense that the bowl fell and then chips fell in.
That's like the chocolate bus and the peanut butter, or chocolate truck and the peanut butter truck got in an accident, and then they spilt everything everywhere, and they licked their arm, and they were like, "Oh,
right."
The Reese's peanut butter cups were invented.
You put your peanut butter in my chocolate. Yeah. And so they also theorized that she had run out of nuts, and so she replaced them with little bits of chocolate. But the author or the writer of this article, which I think was in the New Yorker, was saying that both of those things diminish her because she ran a real tight ship. She wouldn't have run out of nuts, number one.
Right. Yes, I love that.
And like chips just falling from the shelf above.
Right. Come on.
Because that gives her no credit. So I like that we're setting the record straight here.
She was like, put that in that. It'll be delicious.
Yeah, she was brilliant,
Brilliant. Have you had a chocolate chip cookie?
Yes, she was too organized and professional for those things to be true. And it was her hard work and expertise that made it. And it was just really good timing because she made it like right during the Great Depression, and people really needed something cheap and comforting during that time. So people went bananas for these things. And they caught the attention.
Are they considered cheap?
Well,
like inexpensive?
Compared to like caviar or, something that only rich people can afford.
Yes.
This was accessible.
And maybe having chocolate chips and it only being a little bit of chocolate in it
was
is
affordable.
like not like, because it was, like not as expensive as having a whole chocolate cake.
Yes, but she got ripped off too because she sold it to the Toll House, what became Toll House, for $1.
No!
Yeah. I mean, I guess she didn't realize it was going to be a real big deal. It was Nestle. Okay.
This...
Are you mad?
Women.
Yeah, know your worth, man.
Know your worth.
Yeah.
And just because, like, I just want to make it easy. I just want to... Nope, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's worth it to not be easy.
You know what's annoying, though? Every time I've done that, where I've drawn a hard line and say, like, no, I know I'm more valuable, they say, well, then no. So then I have to go do it on my own. Hence this podcast and hence my podcast network and stuff. Because I clearly am not a good negotiator. Because people are like, well,
I did that with my divorce, and it
worked out.
I'm glad that, because in the beginning I was going to be like, oh no, it's fine, I'll just leave.
I did that.
And then I got the good advice of, no, get what you are legally entitled to, and not one penny more and not one penny less.
Yes.
And that's it. And I was like, okay, I will do that.
I'm glad you did. And then she sat down.
And I hear women do that all the time, where they just like want to make it easier. They just don't want to do it.
They want to be nice.
They want to be, yes.
Yeah.
Don't
do
that.
Don't be nice.
Don't go to mediation. Get a lawyer. It is worth it.
I agree.
Yes. This is not official legal advice. Just good old Sarah.
But anyway, she did work for Nestle as a consultant, so maybe she felt like that was
nice. Good.
compensation enough.
Good.
But like,
she's like, hey guys, have you heard about peanut butter?
She was really modest and humble, though. She wasn't like hanging her hat on it. She wanted people to appreciate, I think, the diner more than the chocolate chip cookie recipe, because she worked so hard at the diner with her husband.
Was it her diner?
Her and her husband, yeah.
Oh, good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's your chocolate chip cookie history.
It's your sweet little morsel of the day.
Yeah, and they still hit. I'll tell you. Like,
yep.
I
got a good chocolate chip recipe. I could throw that up on the...
there you go.
The old... Yeah. You guys have... During quarantine, I perfected this. I made so many. And you guys have tried this, and I have heard that, yes, it is good. The secret is to freeze the dough before.
It said that in the article.
Hi-oh!
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got to be cold. Like,
got to be cold. Because then it gets nice, soft inside. Then that's how you keep the inside from being too dry.
Yeah, they said it makes a better, like a crunchy outside and a really delicious, moist inside.
Yes.
Sarah knows things, you guys. By the way,
bake off.
I just realized I never finished the story about I Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't know what happened with
my
that.
gosh. I probably derailed that because I talked about making out in theaters or something, or not making out. Yeah.
Okay, well, at any rate, the lady that wrote that, her daughter was murdered after she wrote it.
What?
For real. Can you believe? And like, every article I found about it is sort of like, yeah, it was just a coincidence. I'm like, what?
No!
How are we just accepting that was just a coincidence? But I guess it was. She was a woman who wrote about true crime books back in the day. And then in 1989, after she had written it, her daughter was murdered. And the reason I even know this is because they just solved it this year.
Get out!
Yeah, he confessed, this guy.
He confessed?
Yeah, he was arrested for something else, and he was like, oh, by the way, I killed other people. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I know. I was just like, what kind of sick coincidence is that? It's not like that happens to a lot of people.
No, it's not.
But anyway.
Wow.
That was just a little bit of trivia. I just felt like you should know that.
Man.
Yeah, there you go. Let me see.
I think they're coming out with a remake of that.
I think that's Scream.
Scream.
Yeah.
That's Scream. Scream, yeah.
Not a remake. What's this? What's a sequel called when it's like the 10th one? You know, when there's like more than two. So you have a sequel and then a trilogy and then what? What's after trilogy?
They call it it's like a whole bunch of them.
A series.
We'll go with that.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, that's true. Are you into horror movies? You are, aren't you?
I used to be.
Yeah.
I'm into thrillers. I don't like things that deal with like possessions, and like I'm not gonna watch that. I don't like it. And that what's the one where it's the camera up in the house and it catches everything, and they've done Paranormal Activity. Fuck that. Because too many people in my family have had experiences where they have woken up and all the drawers are open and stuff, and I do not need that shit in my life. And I would like to not invite that vision even into my mind, because I don't want to see any of that. Not
Why
like
does
I believe
it
it
scare
really
you,
happens.
though?
I don't know. Because it just does. Because both my mom and Jordan have said that they've seen fucking ghosts.
But are they mean
I'm
ones?
not cool with that. No.
They're nice ones.
I get, yeah.
But you don't
But
care.
still.
It freaks you out.
I'm not, it freaks me out. I don't want to see anything.
Wow. So your two biggest fears are ghosts and like 2 drops of blood in real life.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Murder scene.
Yeah, because when you said that, like blood, I was like thinking
Blood.
there was gusher.
In my mind, that I had to do one of those things where, like, you know, in movies, they'll do a scene where it's like what the person's thinking inside their own, kind of like a Dumb and Dumber, where he goes and like reaches in and pulls the heart out of the guy,
Yeah.
and then like cuts to like the real scene.
Yeah.
That happened in like it existed. That played out in my mind. I wasn't looking, and then I peeked under the table a little bit, and then I had to tell myself those are 2 drops of blood, because the visual that my mind created was
more dramatic.
gushing blood. It was like the blood that then like drips into the storm drain and is like that.
Wow.
I was like, there's blood everywhere. That none of that was true. I'm like, reel it in, Sarah. Bring it back.
I wanted to know when we were talking about tickling, and now I want to know again with this subject. Do you think that you're born being with a tickle spot? And also, why do you think you have a certain phobia? Like, do you think those are inborn or like caused by some sort of event that happened?
You gotta have it. I don't know. Maybe you have a tickle. You know where I'm really ticklish, but I used to be, but I don't know if because nobody's tickled me there in a really long time. But my collarbone,
Real sensitive.
like that was the place that in like. I remember a summer where like my brothers and like friends of our family all discovered this as being a ticklish spot, and it was just tickle wars all the time with right on the collarbone. I hate being overly tickled.
Yeah.
It's like painful.
It is. But that's why I wonder, like, maybe we just have extra nerves in certain spots and they're different for each person. I don't know.
Where are you ticklish? Oh, that
I used
seems
to
like
be
a
ticklish.
creepy question.
I used to be ticklish, like, under my arms, on my feet, under my chin, I think. Like, when I was a kid. But, like, who's tickling as an adult? I'm not doing that.
Except if you're into that.
Let's find it down.
Let's. We talked about it a lot today, man.
I know, and it's totally disjointed. But I just had stuff I needed to get to.
Yeah, and I barely let you get to any of it. So,
another
episode of the Brain Candy Podcast.
I like that we learned how you're right-nostriled.
And I'm so glad that we reignited your love for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Big time.
And if you guys want some funny laughs, you guys should definitely watch that.
Tune in. It's so good.
Yeah. And if you want to give laughs to a rat, then make sure you're just
welcome.
Gently tap them right between the shoulders there, and then flip them over real quick. And then go right between the upper arms, just on tip, but not too hard. Still maintaining a little bit of tender touch. Susie likes that too.
All right, we did stuff about chocolate chip cookies. We did Nirvana, whatever. You guys know. You remember. You were there.
If you want to hear more, you can check out our newsletter.
Mm-hmm. You can sign up on our website, thebraincandypodcast.com, or you could join our Patreon, patreon.com/braincandy. Thank you guys so much. We love you.
Bye.